You're watching The Wave. I'm Franc Han Shih. According to Model Intelligence, Thailand's ride-hailing market will reach over $2.5 billion this year and increase over $4 billion in 2030, with more Gen Z fond of ride-hailing services than owning a private car. An international ride-hailing company aims to expand its services more in Thailand. Joining me now is Juliano Fatio, Director of International Business Boat. We'll share his insight about strategies in Thailand and the region. Thank you for your time, Juliano.
Thank you for inviting me. It's great to be here.
Right. Actually, we just understand that boat right now has a lot of strategies in Thailand and the region. So what's the strategy right now to expand in Thailand's market?
We launched it in Thailand roughly 5 years ago, and from day one it was a huge success, right? So immediately after having our services in Bangkok, we start expanding to other relevant Thai cities. And that was only with the ride-hailing services. When we look at the future now, of course, there's still some ground to be gained with ride-hailing, but I also believe there is a need for having other services that Bolt is already offering in Europe and in other markets. I'm not promising anything here, I'm not putting deadlines, but of course, Bolt being able to be as big as it is right now in Thailand as a whole, it's more than natural for us to think about expanding through other services anytime soon.
Right, and actually talk about ride-hailing services. One data to give you there, actually 25% of ride-hailing users are foreigners in Thailand, and of course local too. Why Thailand is so special for Bolt? Because it's the first hub and spot for Bolt to expand its services in Southeast Asia. Why Thailand is so special?
I think Bangkok was, from day one, a great success history for us, in a very simple fashion. We start Thailand, to be very honest, with low expectations, testing different markets across the globe, and of course we knew that Bangkok was already like a huge market for us to be in. But as you mentioned before in our previous conversation, we already had like pretty much like established players here, right? But I believe that from day one, we were able to focus on what these other players were missing in this market. And to be fair, by being very efficient in our business model, pass the best prices for our customers, which of course attracted even more customers, which of course attracted more drivers, and this winning cycle prevailed. So we were able to win market share by implementing a very, very efficient, I would say like an obsessed efficient business model in Thailand, which brought us naturally like this growth that we can see now.
You talk about a very challenging point for your company. Actually, we've seen established players in Thailand's market too.
Yeah.
One of few Southeast Asian giants, they try to capture more market in Thailand, but eventually they have to exit. What's Bolt's secret sauce here? What's the strategy here? Because the market is quite competitive.
Absolutely. And I think, again, my answer will go through our ability to be very efficient in the way that we deploy money into our operations, which, again, allow us to pass these efficiencies to our drivers, to our passengers, on and on and on. So in terms of localization and how we did adapt for the Thai market, in general terms, I think we were able to do that in a more efficient way, again, that our competitors. Not only about pricing now, talking about like the whole infrastructure, how we hold conversations with local partners, stakeholders, how we were actually able to adapt our product, like simple things like having an integration with the toll system in Bangkok, which is about to roll out, and all these other things that are extremely important to win here in this market, right? So once we learn about the potential of this market, which is huge, we are actually able to invest in these little tweaks, localization tweaks, that are able to help us win the market share game, if you say so.
Yeah. One very quick question. I think I have to give you this data too, because according to the macroeconomic environment in Thailand, some say that tourists number is not that high like before. So of course, as what I said, 25% of your users here in Thailand are foreigners. Tourists is very important for your company too. So do you feel any concern over the lowering tourist numbers here to come to Thailand, or it's not a big deal for you?
Being very transparent here, of course, we praise for all of customers, being them local or tourists, right? But the way that we are building our service here is actually to favor the local Thai people. And we are able, as we can see in our numbers, we are able to grow in the Thai market exponentially despite the usage of tourists, because again, the service that we have in place here is tailor-made for the Thai people. So to be very, very synthetic in my answer and very straightforward, that's not a big concern of ours.
Right.
Yeah.
Another part I have to ask, of course, on the stage you talk about safety measures.
Yes, of course.
This is one of the key parts that consumer will, of course, choose one platform.
Yeah.
What's the safety measures in Thailand?
That's a very, very interesting point here, because we have advanced so much in that aspect. We have new features coming out every day to make sure that we provide the safest app out there, right? So to mention a few of them that we have in our app. First of all of our drivers, they have the background check. All of our drivers, they have to do their face recognition within the app at least once a week. And that's a big thing. The other great thing that we also have here in Thailand, we have an agreement, a partnership with the local authorities to let them know whenever we are having trouble. And that's through the app. It's quite amazing the way that we do it. Right. You push a button within the app, you're able to actually get assistance from the local authorities. So by doing these little adaptations, I'm pretty much sure that we can have the safest app in Thailand or the safest app anywhere else in the globe. But these changes specifically, they are of course not built overnight, and they're also something done with the hand and the fingers of the local authorities themselves, right? So it's something specifically made for Thai, which is bringing excellent results for us.
For the new business, when coming to Southeast Asia, you understand that Southeast Asia has diversity of culture, languages, localization, no matter it's in which way. When boats come into Thailand, what kind of localized content that you have done, and what's your suggestion to the government right now to really boost the business environment for boats?
To be fair, starting by the last bit of your question, the local government is already supporting, I would say, the business environment in a very interesting way. If you see where we are today and this event, pretty much trying to promote knowledge to the Thai entrepreneurs and how to expand their business and so on. So in that aspect, fantastic. Specifically about the last bit of your question about Southeast Asia, on and on. I think, honestly speaking, coming from myself as a Brazilian, but living in Europe for many years now, when I look at the Southeast Asian business environment in general, it's so easy to do business here. And people are actually willing to take risks here in a very different way when compared to Europe, in my own opinion. So that's very encouraging, right? And I think not only the authorities, but also the entrepreneur spirit here, it's seen everywhere, right? So the risk and the willing to take risk here, it seems to be everywhere in general terms. Also about the different cities that we have here in Southeast Asia and how we actually entered this market and why Thailand was the first one, right? I think again, Bangkok was a very easy decision for us. First of all, the addressable market, right? How many people are actually willing to use such a service like ours? Second of all, I would say a regulation that is pretty much there to help the entrepreneurs and business like ours to thrive. Since day one, we were fairly treated by everyone to obtain our license. We were able to pretty much talk to all the stakeholders that we need to talk to in order to make the business happen. Also, we were able to gain, I would say, new users quite fast. So that showed that was eagerness by the local public to have such a services, even though we already know how many competitors we have it here, right? So from day one when we start testing how to acquire new users here in Thailand, we were very successful. So that was like an easy decision to direct our investments more and more in Thailand versus any other place
So you
in
wouldn't
Southeast Asia.
think that actually, I talked to so many business leaders, they think that Thailand's regulations are quite complicated or complex. But in your mind, do you think it's quite streamlined in a way?
Look, of course, I have to put in perspective my own experience as a Bolt member and a Bolt employee here, right? For us, when it comes to the local regulation and everything that was set for us to start operating here, fair and square, right? The rules are clear from day one. We are able to openly talk to the government, to actually partner with the government, understand more about this market. At the end, we have the same goal, right? We are both here to try to offer the mass mobility service to the Thai population, right? So I have the data, they have the data, how we can actually cross that in order to serve better everyone. And also when it comes to the general public, it's always better to have new competition, I would say so, right? Yeah. Competition brings more value to the customers at the end. So I think we are always welcomed by everyone here in Thailand, all the stakeholders.
Yeah, and competition also brings innovation to
Absolutely.
the ground.
And I think it makes everyone pretty much move themselves towards a better product, a better service. Yeah.
Great. Last question very quickly.
All right.
Future strategies in Thailand and Southeast Asia, expansion, or right now it's wait and see period. What's that for both?
I mean, it's exciting, right? To think so, everything that we can do in Southeast Asia in general. I spoke in the beginning of our conversation about the different possibilities that we have here in Thailand. Yeah. Looking at Southeast Asia in general, we just launched it in Malaysia, such a big market also, when we are initiating our operations but honestly, the future looks bright for us because there are so many other cities similar to Bangkok, great addressable markets, great to do business, where the local population is actually eager to try our services. So I strongly believe that hopefully next time we speak, I'm going to have even more news about new countries, new markets, new services, and the flywheel will go on and on and on. So that's
good luck to that to Malaysia.
Thank you.
Also, you have to see a lot of competitors on the ground too in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Right. So today, Mr. Juliano Fatio, Director of International Business of Bolt, joining me now today to talk about Bolt's strategies in Thailand and Southeast Asia. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. More news to come.